So let's just talk about route parameters in Express. So the route parameters are basically specified in the URL, and they are used for such as retrieving data, like fetching some user profile by specifying the ID in the URL. So here we have one base route which just returns the string welcome to Express, and we have another users route where it just sends a list of users. Now we can fetch one specific user by passing some ID in that URL. So let's just create another route, app.get, and here we can get one specific user, so users slash, and then to pass one route parameter we have to use colon followed by the name of the route parameter. So we can give it any name, so I'm gonna give it ID, and after that, as usual, we have to have the callback function with the request and the response. Now to access the route parameter we have to use the request parameter, so we have to write request.param, and this will return one object. So if we just console log this, so let's now start the server, node-mon index. So our server is running. So let's now go to the user routes, and we're gonna pass some random parameter. So if we go to the localhost 3000, so we'll get this string because this is the base route. Now if we go to slash users, now we're gonna get some list of users. Now if we pass some route parameter like slash ID, some number like 1, so now in the console you can see we have this params object where we have the ID as 1. So we can access this route parameter. For this we have to write request.params.id. So you can see 1 is the ID. So this way if we pass 10 as the parameter, so now in the console you can see we are getting 10 as the ID. So here we're just passing one single parameter. This way we can pass multiple parameters, like we can pass the username, so we have to write colon username. Now if we console log the params object, now if we go to slash user slash some ID like 5 and username like John, so if we go to that route, now in the console you can see, so now the params object contains the ID and the username. So both of these we have passed in the route parameter. Now we can access all of these individual parameters. For this we have to write request.params.id and request.params.username. So you can see we have the ID and the username. Now we can use the ID or the username, and we can return some specific user from the list of users. And also we can have optional parameters. So in that case we have to use the question mark after this route parameter. Now it is optional to pass the ID route parameter. So let's just use the conditional if. So if we get the request.params.id, so if we get the ID, then we're gonna respond with the string user ID request.params.id. Else we're just gonna respond and we're gonna send the string user ID not found. So now we have the option, we can either send the ID or not. Based on that we're gonna return the user ID or user not found. So let's now go to the URL users/5. So you can see we're getting the user ID as 5, and we can send 50 also, and accordingly we're gonna get the user ID. Now if we do not pass any user ID, so in that case we are just returning all the users, so we are basically accessing this route. So if we just comment this out, now if we pass any ID we're gonna get the ID, but if we do not pass any kind of ID, in that case we're gonna get user ID not found. So basically now we have the option, we can either send the ID or not. So this way we can use the route parameters, which allows us to create dynamic and flexible routes in the Express application. So that's it for the video. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.